Hello and welcome. I'm creating a video series about archetypes and the Archetypal Empowerment System, as I call it. This video is going to be the first in the series because we have to start with what is an archetype and how can it help you. Now, I want this to tie into our deep personal spiritual journey of growth, but there's also the practical aspect of understanding archetypes and how it can help you in your day-to-day communication and also in getting impressions of other people and learning to trust your instincts and trust that you're reading their archetypes so that you can make an informed decision as you're speaking to them and getting people to know. So it's not just trusting that everyone's a good guy or trusting, what people are saying. Learning to understand about archetypes is really learning to understand what people are doing. Now, when it comes to any good relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship, a business room relationship, friendships, you can always and you should always judge someone on their actions and discern upon their actions and not just their words. Because there is so many people in today's society which really just speak a lot, but then they don't follow through and embody it. They don't keep their word. They don't actually have actions to back up the words. So if you learn to look at the archetypal aspects and read their archetypes and the action and the embodiment of what they're doing, you actually get a really clear idea of who the person is. And as you do more of this, you really can be so much freer because you understand people's essence and you learn to discern them based upon that and create really healthy relationships in all areas of your life. So just briefly, for those who are new to me, my name is Jess Beard and I am a transformational coach and archetypal teacher. I absolutely love helping people on their spiritual path and to find real clarity and guidance to what their, sabotaging blocks are, help them through their sabotaging blocks, and get to that place where they have that transformation of something that's been holding them back for a very long time. So I help people find that clarity, and quite often it's through archetypes and alchemy that we get to the the absolute crux and cornerstones of what's going on and can help you heal and move through that. I love what I do, and I'm absolutely in love with archetypes. So, what is an archetype? The term and the teachings and the study of it really started to come to light more with the grandfather of archetypal work, which is Carl Jung. And the best way that I can describe it, he calls it a primordial language that's in our subconscious that links us all. But when I'm talking about it, the easiest way that I can really share this is to say it in this way. Say you're imagining the archetype of the mother. It doesn't matter what country you're from, what the language you speak, what age, what social demographic, you will know what a good mother is and you will know what a bad mother is. And mother wounds come up with people because they know archetypally at their core, hang on, my mother's not like what she's supposed to be. And you can sense it from a very, very, very young age. So as Carl Jung was traveling around to the different psychiatric hospitals and institutes and things in different countries, he would start to see like similar things in people of all different demographics. And he realized that linking us in the global unconscious, as he called it, our unified psyche in the matrix, in the quantum, we are all linked by these archetypal forces. And I discovered Caroline Mice, and she absolutely transformed my life with my understanding of all these things which I was seeing and learning and consuming all this esoterical knowledge. And then she started to talk about archetypes, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, that's my night archetype. Just absolutely outraged. Oh, that's my martyr. You know, the martyr is not just the martyr syndrome, the martyr is an archetype. I had a chronically toxic martyr in shadow. Then I would look at the shapeshifter and I'd be like, oh my God, I'm people pleasing. I'm shape shifting into all these things for other people, trying to almost put on a different costume and be what they needed to be so that I didn't look at myself. You know, I got to the point where I didn't know who I was. And there was an actual language, an archetype for all these different aspects of which I was on my healing journey with. And it just brought such profound clarity. So Caroline talks about how you will have in the collective, in the global unconscious, the thing that links all of our psyches. And you will have, you're plugged into multiple archetypes at a time. Now, I also studied with an incredible gentleman called Robert O'Hodo. I love his work. He mixes astrology with archetypes. And he really talks about how you can unplug yourself and deactivate archetypes. And that's when I really started to look at, oh my gosh, I can have more control about this. I can really see how I can go through this empowerment journey and use these archetypes to really learn how to do so. So the archetypes tend to really appeal to people because it's like you are discovering a language, and it's the language of know thyself. So you can really see when something is coming up, like a belief system or a program that you're running into, and you look at it and you're like, oh, that's that happening again. I know how to counteract that. And you alchemize. And the alchemist is an archetype, which will be in a later video. Now, there is light and shadow aspects to archetypes. So sometimes we can live in the shadow our whole life of an archetype and you don't really realize it. But you can do the work to bring it into its light aspects. One of the easiest ones for this that I teach with is the judge archetype, because it's got such a distinctive light and shadow aspects, which is really easy to talk about. So a light aspect of the judge is vital. We need a judge archetype for discernment and for our safety. We need to judge a situation. Is this safe? We need to discern, is this person telling me the truth? We need to discern if somebody is of good character. Are they, you know, morally someone I want to spend time with? So there's that survival component, like, am I judging the distance of, like, you know, I'm going to take a step on this bridge and I'm not going to fall through, or I have to jump and time it perfectly so I don't fall in the water. And you need that discernment, you need that healthy judge. Now, the shadow judge aspects is where you absolutely do not trust yourself. That's often tied in with other archetypes as well. But you don't trust that you're judging something. And you're also, when you completely judge other people, or that person's lips are too big, and that person's fake, and then you go into the bitterness. It's okay to look at someone, discern them, and go, I think that this person's really putting on a performance and quite fake. And I'm going to just avoid them because I do not feel like having any drama at this moment. That's a sovereign judgment where you have discerned what your opinion is and realizing it is your opinion. You judge the situation with your lenses, you look at the person, and you decide to avoid them. Now, where a shadow judge would do it, they would see the person go, oh, so fake. And then they would tell somebody, or they would bitch about them. Or 3 days later, they're having a coffee and they decide to bitch about that person to their friends. And they're like having a like good old little gossip. That's shadow judge. Gossiping might sound fun at the extent of somebody else, but it's malicious. You're literally sending them psychic darts. It's a waste of your time, and it's actually not a good use of your power, your personal power. And when you are on a spiritual journey, when you are on an empowerment journey and you're trying to really step up and become the greatest version of yourself, you are on a journey of understanding your power. And quite often, there's the witch wound program, which is a whole other conversation. And I think I've done a video on that and I'll put it down in the description. But we have that programmed response in us if anyone gets too big, too famous, too successful. We want to like rip them back down. But that's our judge in total shadow. So it's such a profound one for showing you the light and the shadow aspects. Let's look at an unpopular one. Let's look at the shapeshifter, which is your people pleaser. So in its light aspects, being able to shapeshift is actually the ability to be highly adaptable and morph to the situation that you need. So say you're going for a job interview, you need to be able to really shift into that persona of presenting yourself really amazing. And you could be so nervous and you could be desperate, you need the money, or you could be like, this is your dream, you want it so bad. And there's all these volatile emotions, but you're like, no, 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 no. I need to be on my best, most professional, charming self. And you adapt and morph into this persona in order to get through that, even though you want it so bad you can taste it. That's shape shifting for your good because you're in a mess psychologically and mentally, and you're like, I just need to call on this adaptable shapeshifter and morph into this persona so that I can get through this. The same thing can happen if you're in a dangerous situation, or there's people bullying you, or you're in a highly corporate situation and there's all these people and you might be feeling inferior and you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm about to crash and burn. And you're like, hang on, I need to adapt. I need to shape shift into this like go-getter, and I need to deliver my lines perfectly, and I need to do this. So you actually using the shapeshifter to help soothe your sabotaging inner critic, your programmings, you're feeling less than, any of those. So it's actually doing you really, really good. But then the reverse of that, the shadow aspects of the shapeshifter, is where you don't take that persona off. You start to live that persona. You start to become fake yourself. You start to be driven to be the best mother or the best father and the best employee and the best friend, and you say, yes, I can do this, and oh, I'm such a dependable person, I'm such a good person. You create all these identities wrapped around you, like people pleasing at the cost of yourself. You drain your life force and you end up miserable. Don't know who you are. You're so busy being everything for everybody else. And it's a systematic thing. And it can also be a taught thing, taught behavior, a taught archetype. So archetypes can 1,000% help you to really see, what am I doing to myself? What am I in shadow with? What do I need to heal? What do I need to get and change my belief systems and programming around this? And you can take your power back. I will go into the archetypal empowerment system next so that you can really see the energetical aspects of how empowering it can be to learn about archetypes. So I'll leave this one here and we'll go to the next one because I want these to not get too long. And if you haven't noticed already, I have a strong storyteller archetype. So I teach through storytelling, but I can be prone, if I do not control it, on going off on tangents, which is a little bit of a shadow aspect of repeating myself or trying to do too much of a big picture at once with my storytelling. So I'm consciously working with this archetype, but I'm trying to keep these concise so that you can really see through this series of videos and break it all down and see how archetypes can help you and what the archetypal empowerment system is. So let's go to the next video.